how this comes out. We're going to go after it today in the aspects of resistance. And interesting enough, you guys always know these podcasts are about a parable. Something that I'm going through and some of the revelations that you can get going through this, whether it's something nutritional, whether it's something that's going to help you throughout your day, is motivational. I mean, it's a mix-up, and it's all about thriving. It really is. It's all about thriving and not just surviving your day. And so I sometimes struggle immensely to get this podcast up. And today's no doubt one of those days. It's like this resistance is at its highest. Everything, timing-wise, is against it. Computer shut down for some unknown reason. Podcast, the intro is not sounding. There's a glitch in the software. But it doesn't really matter, because there is going to be often a battle, a fight that you need to gear up for. And this kind of leads into the podcast that it's not about you. This is what we're going to talk about today. Because oftentimes we can make a battle, a fight, or something along those lines about us. Like something that we've done wrong, or something that we look at as something that we deserve, almost like karma, or punishment is another one. If you're from a religious background, that you've done something in your past that has finally caught up to you, and this is where it's at. So today is one of the most powerful angles that you can look at, and one of the most freeing things that you could do in your overall life is to recognize that a lot of stuff like this is not about you. It's not about you. It's just what it is. So over the weekend, we had wrestling. My kids did phenomenal, and I love watching them wrestle. We've had a battle of years, like literally 5-6 years of losing, and sometimes winning, occasionally coming out on top, but very rarely, and just battles. This year has been a pretty good year. And both my oldest and the youngest love to wrestle. They've got me into wrestling at a higher level. And at this higher level, we have participated. I've done everything from just getting involved, helping tournaments run, and all the way up through a leadership role in it, being the director for the region, and a lot of state-related things, and all these types of things. And I have donated countless hours of time and money and energy, oftentimes never, asking to be paid back for any of what we do. I also serve as a doctor on these things. So from resetting shoulders to, nose plugs and gauze and countless, if you know anything about wrestling, countless, literally, shoulder harnesses, like slings out the door. Shoulders just get beat up. And I just continue to order slings and send slings out every year. Never asking, never wanting, and would never take anything in return as far as financially. It's just what I do. It's what I love to do. And over the weekend, we had somebody basically check my credentials to see if I was actually living to the standard that I was holding everybody else. And this is like in wrestling, just like in esports right now, we have to be Safe Sport certified. You have to have your membership renewed every year, this and that. So I did a 2-year membership last year and checked with and renewed, all my information this year. And I got my card, everything like that. Everything was clean. But some reason... And when I got my membership, there would be no reason to get back online to make sure that I'm legitimate. You can check anybody's status just because it's that important. We don't want freaks on the mats or dealing with kids, coaching kids, and there's a liability, there's insurance issues and all sorts of stuff with this. So anyways, everything was clean on my standpoint. I got my card, so I didn't think anything. But somebody brought it up to now our head director, and was basically like, hey, he's not, look, he's got a red dot next to his name, which means he didn't do the Safe Sport certified. Which on half of me is just like, oh, well, thanks for bringing that up. And then the other half was like, hey, fuck you. because of the aspects of like, here I am doing and serving all these types of things. And there had to be some malicious reason that you looked me up. Like you wanted to see if you could take me out. And immediately I go into fight mode. And I'll leave it to the director. The head director was just like, I'm not going to even tell you. So I don't even know who it is. I don't even care who it is. I don't want to know who it is because it'll probably just taint my view of them. It's kind of nice to know who's stabbing you in the back on these things. Okay? There is a huge point to all of this because you have all been through something along these lines. And because you've been through this, there's a gift in this for you. Okay? But the concept is that somebody was willing to go to those links to be able to point you out and try to take you down. And here's the concept. Oftentimes when you're doing good, oftentimes when you're doing and serving for others, others will see in you a reflection of what they could have been. It is a reflection of what could have been. This is why sports fanatics, sports fans, and we're coming off the cusp of Kobe Bryant passing away with his daughter. And the grieving that goes on because people either hail Kobe Bryant, they hail people in the sports world as heroes, or they will constantly break them down, take them out. And this happens in social structures. This happens at lower levels, i.e. the story that I'm telling you today, in the aspects of that everybody's always out to level up. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people that want to level up without doing the work. So it's the people that point out, it's like the Monday morning quarterbacks, it's like the ESPN that sit around and talk about how it could have been done better, but we're never there. This is one of my biggest peeves. I don't watch sports because I have no outcome or no control over the outcome. I'm not involved in it. And the end product doesn't affect my family one way or another. Now, I'll watch the Super Bowl. I'll watch because these are big events and stuff like that. My oldest is totally Eagles fan. I get it. That's fun. It's fun. But at the end of the day, the power goes out and I can't see the fourth quarter or who's going to win. Doesn't really matter. Because the outcome has no impact on my life. So I focus on things that I can control, things that I'm involved in and everything like that. But the status is still the same, whether at the elite level or down at my level. And what happens is when people see you doing work, they see you doing things that have impact or things that are good for other people. They want to do those things too. They want to have the same impact. And so immediately they see the good in what you're doing and the impact that you're having. But then it's a reflection of where they are not. And there's two ways that people usually go with this. The rare, which is like, wow, I want to hang out with you, get to know you, emulate you, figure out what makes you tick. And this is what I've always done in my life. I'm like, you got something that I don't. I'm coming after you. Not in the aspects of taking you out, but I'm coming after you to know, to learn, to be more, to expand my horizons. I sat next to a gentleman at Brian Reagan, Tim Ballard, and I told him this. I'm like, he sat down and I looked over and I go, oh, you got to be kidding me right now. If you guys don't know Tim Ballard, he started Operation Underground Railroad, and that's just, gets me at my heart because I have two girls, but it's all about stealing girls and putting them in sex trafficking, and he has been combating that. Incredible individual. And, all I could say is like, hey, man, I was like, you don't know me, but I know you. And I can't say enough, like, of what you do is just incredible. And I will continue to monetarily support. I wish there was a way that I could get involved. My timing is not yet there, but I wish I could get involved at a different level. But this is all I can do, man. And he goes, hey, he said, that's incredible. And I appreciate the support, and we'll continue to do the work. Okay, but it emulates. I add him on my social feeds, and I want to know, and I read about his stuff because they emulate. I don't drag him down. I don't make fun of how he showed up or how he dressed or anything like that. I emulate that. He's doing way more than I am in that arena, even though I have a heart for that. And I've often said, if like my little girls ever got taken, everything's done to me. I'd go right at it. I'd join Operation Underground Railroad. They probably wouldn't let me go because I'd come with like heavy artillery and figure some stuff out. But anyways, this is the concept for you today. And we're talking around this, beating around this a little bit. But oftentimes when people are haters, if you will, and want to try to drag you down, and we call this crabs in a bucket. We call this crabs in a bucket because all the other crabs don't want another crab to get out to freedom. So what do? They literally cut his legs off. They'll chomp at him. They'll little pinch and pull, and they pull him back down. And then they'll climb up on top of him. And this is human nature to do this. This is what you do on your social media feeds. And you can't deny it. You scroll through and you look immediately and judge people up and down. And then try to drag them down. Next time you are doubting that this is what you do, find somebody that's in really good shape, that puts their body on there, or a picture of that immediately. What goes through your mind? It's often like, rah, 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 rah. Well, CrossFit, they're going to blow out their knee and they're going to be injured. And you go through this whole scenario to try to level up your game instead of you just doing you. You just doing the work. Doing the work so that you may be what you set out to be. And so haters are going to hate because you become a reflection of exactly what they want to be, but are not. I could have, or I should have, is the reflection that creates so much hatred in somebody that is insecure and not having in a direction where they want. And so it goes this weekend. Get haters. Sounds like a song, doesn't it? Well, it is a song. I know. It's been talked about for centuries. Haters gonna hate. But it's so much more than that. You have to realize that it's not about you at all. Because the haters gonna hate kind of concept has an arrogance to it that it takes you into a whole nother world of like, yeah, look at me. Look how good I'm doing. Haters gonna hate. Versus recognizing that that person is having an experience in their own world that has nothing to do with you. They are seeing a reflection of something that they could have been or should have done, could haves and should haves, that show up. And the only way that they know how to justify their means, where they sit in their own body and their own mind and their own spirituality, is to obliterate or attempt to defame, deregulate, or take down somebody else. So twofold. If you've been the victim of this hate, see it as I'm talking about today, that it's not about you. If you've been a hater, you shift. If you're that one that was like, oh my God, it's resonating with me. And if you're not, then you're a liar. Stop lying to yourself, because we've all done it. I've even done it. All right. Oh my God, that person's got a new car, a new house. We are always constantly, new clothes, whatever it may be, judging based on other people's status. Stop it. And then go out and be you. Go out and do you. And be comfortable with what you do, so that when the hate does show up and the people do the attacks, that it really doesn't matter. Because you are so on point and you're so on purpose in what you do. And of course, make sure your memberships are up to date and up to speed, because people are going to check. And in that note, you will find yourself above and beyond, thriving in a world, in a beautiful world, that you see mostly good. You see that people are not hating you, but they're hating themselves. You see that people are turning into themselves and they lash out because they have no other avenues to go. They don't see it any other way other than trying to take other people out, take them down, versus using that reflection. And so for you, I challenge you today to see in somebody else something that you could have hated, and see that reflection in yourself. That body that you tried to start to pick apart on somebody else that you want to emulate, and then turn it into power. Turn it into something like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go at it. I'm going to set for the next 90 days. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be here, and this is what I want my body to look like. Emulate it. And then better yet, share some love. Share some love. Throw it out to somebody and just say, hey, that's amazing. I totally want to be that way. And see what happens in your world. You will start to see things as roses, start to things through a rose-colored lens, not artificially, but you get to see it for what it is. And it becomes less about you and more about you sinking in the universe and becoming one with everything and seeing the mostly positive compared to seeing mostly attacks and haters. 2 ways that you can live life. And have you suggest to you, have you consider that there is a better way of rolling through this world? And no doubt, a lot healthier way when you look at it as a mirror or a reflection, and that person's response has nothing to do with you. And it's all about them, ladies and gentlemen. In love and light, take this to heart, because it'll make a huge difference in your world. Huge difference on the way you see things and the way you are with people. And give away the love so you can get a little bit more. That's all I got for you. Talk to you next time.